Hey, hey. Just posting the last few reminders. Okay. Hey. Let's see. Hi, Missy. How are you? Just going to give everybody a couple minutes to pop on. Oops. Just going to post in the event really quick. Okay. Almost ready. Do. And message. Okay. Yep. Cool. Okay. Righty. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Constance. Okay. We are all posted up. Okay. I am so excited. Okay. Who is ready to smash their goals this year? I know I am. I have the biggest goals I have ever set for myself, ever. And it's totally scary as fuck, but I have done all of this work and I have done this technique that we're going to do with you guys today. It's called placing a goal in your future timeline. It's a time technique and it is seriously like the best thing you've ever done. Constance, I think we did that right on your session. Feel free to post in the chat how that went for you. Constance was like on fire after we did it. So, you guys, like we're going to go through like not the funnest stuff first, and then we're going to lock it into the subconscious mind with this technique at the very end. So stick with me as long as you can. And to be honest, like doing this work is the reason why, doing this grunt work is like the not fun part, but it's what actually helps us actualize our goals. I know too, like a lot of us can tend to like avoid setting hard goals because we have this like fear and tendency to feel like a failure if we don't hit the mark exactly where we put it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that first, because I myself have totally experienced that. Um, and the key here is, and I want you guys to write this down, that your like there's no such thing as failure. It's only feedback, right? So if you can like reprogram your mind into believing that you didn't fail, you just got feedback. And now that feedback is showing you what you need to adjust, where the tweaks need to be made, and what just needs to be done differently next time. Then you can allow yourself so much more grace. And that's really what it's all about, right? Being an entrepreneur or hitting your goals, it's all about resiliency, right? Like no successful person ever got to where they are because they didn't never fail. Like they had to fail over and over and over and over again. So I just want to start off like reiterating that and reminding you that there's no such thing as failure. It's only feedback. I want that to become your mantra in 2020. It's something that I've really been adopting my own self. And I shared in the Unfiltered Soul Facebook group, maybe some of you saw the post, but I literally just went in and cleared some deep rooted beliefs around feeling like a failure. And I had been experiencing that lately on this like whole other level. And I was like, what is going on? And of course, these things come up in full force to be healed. And I went in and did some of the work. I did a timeline technique with one of my certification sisters, and we cleared it out. But it took me back to a past life where I had experienced a tragic failure. And that is where that belief was born. And it carried on through lifetimes until now. And I was able to release it from my subconscious mind. So just know that there is also still more work to do. And that's not a bad thing. And we get to do that work. Like we have the privilege of doing that work. That is what we are here in this lifetime on this planet for. So, okay. I want to talk first with you guys really quick. I want you to, if you don't already, get your notebooks and your pens out. I will send out like a Google Doc with all of this stuff in it later, but I want to just go through it one step at a time. So I want you to take notes. I feel like you can absorb the information better that way. So I want you guys to align your goals with your values. So what are your top like 3 to 5 values, would you say? And go ahead and write those down right now. I'm going to give you just a minute. Top values. So like could be things like integrity. It could be things like abundance. It could be presence. It could be mindfulness. What are the top 3 to 5 things that you value the most in your life? whenever you're done with your values, you can post them in the comments for me. How are we doing? You guys got them? Yeah? Okay, awesome. Does anybody need more time? Freedom, mindset, mindfulness, connection, authenticity, kindness. Love it. Beautiful. Okay, yes. So Constance says freedom, mindfulness, connection. Missy says authenticity, kindness, togetherness, family, teamwork. And Kelly says love, honesty, kindness. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, awesome. So next, we want to also, for this whole purpose of alignment, right, aligning our goals with our values, but and also with our feelings. So how do you want to feel this year? What are the top 3 to 4 feelings you want to experience overall on a daily? What are those? And go ahead and write those down for yourself and share those in the chat as well. I'll tell you one of my big ones this year is ease. I want to feel wealthy. I don't just want to feel wealthy. I want to be wealthy, but you got to feel it to be it, right? So wealth, ease, and connected. I really want to feel more connected with my kids this year. And my husband. He counts too, right? Okay, Constance says she wants to feel peace, abundant, and connected. Kelly says she wants to feel vibrant, loved, and grounded. Beautiful, I love it. Yes, grounded was like one of my things I worked on a few years ago. Whew. Yeah. And Missy says she wants to feel free, loved, and trusting life. Okay. Sorry, that's our landscaping line. There's no way to turn it off. It's just so annoying. I'm so sorry. Hopefully it won't keep doing that. Sometimes it's like a lot, it's a business line, so it's a lot of just like telemarketers. Sometimes I just pick it up and hang up. Okay, so that's amazing. So now I want you to just ask yourself, what are a few ways that you can invoke these feelings for yourself on a daily basis? What are some things that you can do? Can it just be, would it be like, for example, affirmations. We're going to talk a little bit about like creating an identity script that can help you and bring these in. But like, what are the actual actions that you'll take as far as like a habit, a practice, a ritual that you can embody these feelings every day, even if your life doesn't feel peaceful, even if you don't feel abundant, or your reality is that your bank account has, you know, $20 in it, or it's negative, or, you know, that you don't feel connected to your, you know, to your partner or your children, that you don't feel grounded, right? So even if your reality is that you've been experiencing this other thing, seriously, stop it. How can you tap into those feelings irregardless of your circumstances? This is going to be so key. Like, this is kind of, not kind of, this is everything. Okay, so everything that we're going to do after this moment is all cool, but if you can't master this part of being who you already like desire to be, like being her now, then none of the work that we do after this is going to matter. Because you can have the best strategy, you can have the best plan, you can even do all the right fucking things. But if you're doing it from a place of scarcity, lack, chaos, distrust, none of it's going to matter. Okay? So let me share with you. So I'm going to share with you one thing that you can do, and I want you to write this down. I shared this with someone last night I was talking to, and in a private message, and she had shared with me repeatedly that she wants to work with me so much, but she doesn't have any money, and that they're like literally behind like 2 months on their bills, etc. Right? I get that that can be the reality. I'm not telling you to deny your reality, but I'm also telling you to quit telling that fucking story. Don't tell that. And I'm not saying hide and be secretive and have shame around it, but your language and your thought patterns, right? So I want you to step into the version of you that already has peace, abundance, connectedness, vibrance, love, groundedness, freedom, trust, right? And I would encourage you, if you want to feel loved, I would encourage you to shift that, because that is a scarcity feeling. I want to be loved. No, you need to be loving. You have to feel loving. When you feel loving, you will get love back, right? And if you're wanting to feel loved, the first place to start is to give that to yourself, right? So what can you do to feel free? What can you do to feel loved? What can not, and you're not, this is not like, you're not looking outside of yourself for these things. This is all comes from it within. What can I do to feel more trusting? Where can you look at examples in your life where you have been free, where you did feel loved, where you were loving, where you did trust, right? Where you experienced peace, and drop into those memories. Maybe you even need to ask yourself, what was I doing to cultivate those feelings, or what was going on in my life during that time? And how can I recreate that now, right? So we have the power to do all of this every single day, regardless of our external circumstances. And it's called being at cause versus effect. So when you always bring it back to cause, you bring yourself back into your power, you reclaim your power, and you remove yourself from being a victim. Does that make sense for everyone? How are you feeling? Because I'm feeling like amped up. I'm like, maybe I should just keep talking about this, because this is my most favorite thing to talk about. We are going to get to the goals things, I promise. But this part, this is why I was like, this is not your normal goals workshop. Like, we're not just going to be like, hoorah, we're going to write down our goals and everything's going to be perfect. Fuck no. We we're going to do the deep work, right? Because that's what this is. And I'm going to say this again, probably a bunch of times, because I wish that someone would have told me this a long fucking time ago, and they didn't. And you have to do this work every single fucking day, every single day. Like, you can't just do it here on this 2-hour workshop and then like forget about it and not do it again. Like, this is what my clients pay me $6,000 for me to make sure that they do, is get into this mindset space, build this habit, build these routines every single day. Kelly says, I've already been feeling my feelings I've listed. I just want more of it. Yes. Okay. So I'm glad that you said that, because here's another thing. Express gratitude right now, Kelly. And I feel like you probably already do this, but just keep saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, more please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, more please. Right? And like really drop into the gratitude of everything that you're experiencing and feeling right now. Like, I'm so grateful that I feel vibrant, loved, and grounded. Right? So this gratitude is going to elevate your vibration, where then you become a vibrational match per the law of attraction, and what like attracts like. And that's what literally will collapse time on where you're at to what you want when you vibrate at the frequency of the thing you want. That's why I keep saying you have to be her now. So here's this exercise I want you guys to do. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to share with you 2 things really quickly. These are very important, like very important, as in like you might want to come back and rewatch this part over and over again. And these are also going to be some daily practices for you. This is like the how-to of the daily practice, okay? So I want you to ask yourself, whatever your desired outcome is, right? So like, what's your primary objective for this year? Let's go ahead and write that down so that we can literally use that right now as we move through this next exercise. So what's your primary objective? What is your most potent priority for this year? What's your primary goal? That when that thing happens, everything else works. Yeah, so what is your key desired outcome? And go ahead and feel free to share that in the comments. I'll tell you mine. Mine is making $511,111. Constance, yay. Am I frozen? Mine is 111,000. Constance says, through my work, not including hobbies income. Yes. Love it. Constance, it's done. Missy said, to be so filled with self-love that I feel free of others' restrictions on me. So I'm just going to offer you a little feedback on that, Missy, and I would just leave off the part so that you can be free of other people's restrictions. So whenever you're including, like whenever you're stating like your goal or your intentions or your desired outcome, you want it to be like in a positive. You don't want to have any negativity. So you don't really want to, you're not going to focus on what other people's restrictions are of you, because you don't have control over them, right? So you are always at cause, you are always at choice. And when you talk about, like other people can't actually put restrictions on you unless you give them permission to do so. So thank you, Nadja. Nadja, what are your goals? Okay, mine are to stop limiting myself from all the desires and related actions, even if I don't think I will execute it well. Okay, great. So how can you reframe that in a positive statement? I want for this to be positive, because here's the thing, our words and language that we use are so fucking powerful that if we use the word restriction, then we keep anchoring in restriction. If we use the word freedom, that's expansive, right? Restriction is like, ooh, you feel contracted. So limiting myself is also a contraction, and we want to expand. So maybe you might want to say, yes, feel so filled with self-love that you feel unlimited, or you can even say free, right? Because like you said the first time, Missy. So yes, and then let's see. So Naja, you might want to say, even if I don't think I will execute it well, I'm willing to take imperfect action and step into my next level self, or my most expansive self, or and step into my highest level self, right? And you're going to want to be specific as possible, and we're going to get to this more, but I'm going to let you guys stay where you're at with that right now, and we can hone that in and tighten it up a little bit here in a minute. Kelly says, to be completely self-sufficient with my business, not using my 401k, and be financially able to get a new house. Okay, cool. So remember, you don't want to use the word not using my 401k. Your subconscious mind cannot hear the word not. So when you're saying be completely self-sufficient with my business using, because your subconscious mind does not hear the word not, using my 401k. So make sure that you reframe that in a positive statement. This is so key. So glad we're doing this. You guys, I'm totally winging this. Like, I kind of had a little bit of an idea what I was doing, but yeah, this is good stuff. Okay. Missy, to be so in love with myself that I know I can do anything. Yes. I feel that for you so much. So Missy, I'm going to just challenge you to create a daily self-love habit, a daily self-love practice for yourself. It might just be something as simple as putting on your favorite lotion each day and taking time to just really apply it with love. It might be taking time. It might just be something as simple as having a glass of hot tea and sitting in your favorite part of your house, or outside when the weather is appropriate, and just savoring the taste of your tea, right? Or it might be and it can be a combination of things. It could be this journaling practice where you tell yourself all the reasons, or 5 reasons every day that you fucking love yourself. Yeah. Okay. So it can be a combination of things, and they don't have to take long, right? And then as you start to do this little things, then you're going to be like, oh, I want more, like, but not more from like a scarcity place, but more of like, that feels good. I want to keep doing that. And then it'll grow and expand. And then the next thing you know, it'll spill out into all the areas of your life. Where you're setting boundaries like a boss, because you're like, no, I love myself too much to put up with that bullshit. Or no, I'm not doing that because that doesn't feel good. Right? So it works like that. Okay. All right, awesome. So hopefully you guys have your reframed desired outcomes down. And next up, we are going to, okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through this. So if you already knew that your insert desired outcome, and I want you to write this out. Actually, you know what? I'll type it in this message for you guys. I'll type it in the chat. If I already knew with 100% certainty that I had insert desired outcome or goal, typing lots of misspellings here, and that's going to drive me nuts. Who would I be? And when I say who would you be, it's like, what are the characteristics that you would embody, right? What state of being would you embody? So for example, you would be committed. You would be confident. You would be loving. You know, you would be grateful. Okay. Then the next part is, so I'm going to just type, I'm going to say these all for you guys, and then you can take your time to work on it. Yeah, you missed part of the prompt. Okay, if I already knew with 100% certainty that I had blank my desired outcome or goal, who would I be? And then what would I do? Oops. Well, oh well. And how, I didn't mean to hit enter, what I feel. So you guys can write that down and then go ahead and answer that, and feel free to share in the chat. So I like to do this in my journal. I literally did this every single day last year, and I ended up like 8 timesing my income in like, I can't remember exactly how, but it was like maybe like 3 to 5 months. And then I also would, like, if I was going on a walk, I would just do this on my walk. And it's called like a Be Do Have exercise. And this is all about reprogramming your identity, who you believe you are at an identity core level. And this is like such a huge key piece of doing mindset work, of achieving your goals, right? That we're talking about today. So the version of you that, like, for example, the version of you that is buying a new house, Kelly, right? Who would she be? Who is, the self-sufficient you who is buying a new house. Who would she be? She'd be a fucking badass. She would be fearless. She would be like so committed and so confident, and she would be like so grounded and knowing like how fucking capable she is. Like she would be so capable, right? So a lot of times what happens is like the person who we're being now is, you know, the doubtful, I don't think I can do it version of us. And that is not serving us. And that's why we don't have the things that we want to have. That's why we're not where we want to be. And it's not anything to beat ourselves up over, or feel shame or regret about. It's just a thing to notice that that is where the work is to be done. And this is just the feedback that's being given for you, and that there is some healing to be done for this, around this. Okay. So does that make sense for everyone? Like, you're like, I literally tell myself every day, like, I'm a fucking badass. I am committed. I am capable. I am confident as fuck. Like I say, like, I'm magnetic. Like I say this to myself every day. Okay. This is part of like the identity script process that I use. And then you were going to say, what would I do? So if you already knew with 100% certainty that you had, you know, for example, Constance, $111,000 this year, what would you be doing? Like, if you already knew that was a fucking done deal, what would you do? Right? Like you might, you might invest in your higher level self. Yeah, I would be leading and empowering a lot of people, Kelly. Yeah, so that's what you would be doing. You would be leading, you would be empowering. And so tell me, how would you be doing that? What are the actions that you would be a leader. You would be empowering, right? And tell me, so then the do part is, how would that look? What are the actions that you would be taking as a empowering leader? You would feel ease about the investments I made, and I would trust my actions. I would show up daily. Yeah, Constance, you would know that your programs are selling and that clients sign on all the time. You would be, you would be a magnet. You would be open to receiving the fucking money. Like, being open to receiving is a state of being that most of us aren't doing. So that means we would, I would be open to receiving support, open to receiving money, right? And so ask yourselves, where are the areas in your life that you're not currently doing that, where you're blocking your fucking flow of the thing that you said you wanted? Like, we say no to stuff all the time. Where are you not speaking your truth and asking for what you want, right? If you want to receive more, you have to be open to receiving that shit in all kinds of ways. It can be the littlest things where you can start to create energy leaks and blockages where you're like, oh no, it's okay, I'll do it for myself. And then you were like, why did I do that? They just offered to do this really amazing thing for me, but I couldn't receive it. Let's see. Naja says, sometimes it's hard for me to envision it because of the if. The only part I can do with ease is imagine the feeling of joy if my desires came to fruition. So going back beyond that to visualize, I often stop because it feels overwhelming. Maybe because I'm not ready or that person yet. No, it's not because you're not ready or you're not that person yet. Naja, I think this is one of those things where you just kind of sometimes have to like surrender and drop into your body more and get out of your head. So this is where you just keep dropping into your body. Like, this whole process that I'm walking you through right now is a body experience. Like, as you speak, like, I am confident, like, you're like, you feel the expansion, like your energy just goes, whew, right? And you're like, that might even be one of your things. I am expansive, right? Like, I do that. It's like, sometimes I just like walk and I hold my arms out and I'm like, I expand. And I just let my aura just keep reaching out and out and out. Envision it because of the if. Yeah, so I really want you to suspend your disbelief. Like, you guys watch movies, right? When you watch a movie and you like get into it, you suspend your disbelief. You have to do that in this process as well. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, so now it's, if I already knew with 100% certainty that I had, blank, my desired outcome. Let's see, whose have I not covered yet? If I already knew I was so in love with myself, how would I feel? And when you do this exercise, like, you really like want to close your eyes if you can and just drop into the feelings of like knowing that you are so loved, that you are so peaceful, or whatever the goal is for you, right? Like, for me, like, when I feel the feelings of having $511,111, I feel that my life has changed forever and the life of my family has changed forever. And the money doesn't just represent material things for me. It represents healing. It represents breaking cycles. It represents like healing future generations. It represents like I feel like this gratitude and this like, fuck yes. Like, and when I make that kind of money, I know that that means I'm impacting thousands, hundreds to thousands of lives. And that all ripples out. And like, I'm changing the fucking world. Like I am doing what I'm here to be doing. When I'm making that kind of money, like that's what's happening. Like I'm doing my work. I'm showing up boldly. I'm living my truth and I'm serving my fucking purpose. And that feels so fucking powerful. Like I can feel that in my whole body. Like every time I think about it, it like literally brings tears to my eyes. So yeah, and like I know that money equals traveling and it equals culture and it equals experience, and it just like means so much to be able to offer that to my family. And it means like for me it represents like ease and flow and like pleasure. Yeah. Hey, Kelly. Yes. Perfect. Okay, good. And then we're going to get into the specifics of goal setting here. And so you can pick the workshop back up at this point on the replay. Thanks for hopping on. So Missy says, I would be traveling, creating, and connecting with people freely and lovingly. Okay, cool. That's your doing. Great. So then how would that make you feel? And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part so we can get you guys wrapped up. I'm going to do a little screen share here. Hold on. Share. This is what I want to share. Optimize for full screen. I think we'll be fine. This. Okay. Can everybody see that? Let me. Uh-oh. I wanted to go into full screen mode, but it's not doing that. Okay, so we're going to talk about now your smarter goals. Okay, so the S for smarter goals really stands for getting specific. So this is where you don't want to just be like, I want more money, or I want more love, or I want more happiness. You want to get specific about it, right? So I want for you, if your goal is feeling a little vague right now, that's okay. But now is your chance to write out what are the things that you want to specifically experience more of to have that feeling or state of being that you desire. Okay. So let me see if I can get, I don't know if how do I get to the chat from this part? Hold on. No. Okay. I can't see the chat. Okay. Anyhow, so we'll just run through these, and then I'm going to give you guys this worksheet, so don't feel like you have to write all of this down. Okay. I'm going to email this to you. So then you want to make sure that your goals are simple. So you don't want to you're not trying to do all your life goals at the same time. Just choose something specific in one area. And then I want you to see yourself in the picture, right? So step out of your body, close your eyes, see yourself in the picture experiencing your desired goal already being done. And if you're seeing it through your own eyes, and imagining it, you're fantasizing it. You're fantasizing and it feels good. But then your unconscious mind thinks you've achieved your goal, and you may experience what's called early closure, which causes your motivation to drop because your unconscious mind is like, why do I need to do anything? It's already done. So you want to be in the goal, feel how good it feels, and then step out and look at yourself achieve. This is so important. And you want to bring in all of the sensory factors. So you want to be able to see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. And I actually have we won't be doing it on this particular workshop because we don't have time, but when I work with my private clients and even in my mastermind, I create a custom hypnosis called a future rehearsing script that you can listen to every day, where we customize it specifically to you, where you go through this whole process and in a guided visualization. It's really, really, really powerful. I use it every day. It takes like 15 minutes to listen to it, and it gets you lit. Oh, is this where the, oh, here's probably where the chat is. There we go. Okay. Now it just says these prompts are so powerful. Thank you. Need to drop off soon. Okay, cool. Yes, awesome. Definitely just catch the replay. You will love it. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the M part of Smarter. And this is where you want to make your goal measurable, right? So this is where you can't measure something like happiness or love, but what you can measure is the things that bring you happiness. So maybe that's taking, for example, 2 10-day vacations a year, or spending X amount of hours with your family, or working X amount of hours a week. And those are things that would contribute to your happiness, for example. So you want to make sure your goals are measurable. Then you want to make sure, I'll leave this one up, that you want to make sure that your goal is meaningful. This is so important. This is going to be like the deep reason that keeps you going when it gets hard, because it gets challenging at times. It does. That's life, right? I know we can create more ease in our life, but you're still going to have challenges because we're human, living a human experience. So if your goal isn't moving you and it's not motivating you, link it to something that does, right? So like for me, right, like I told you, like my $511,000 goal, it's not just about the money. It's about the impact and the healing that's going to happen in this overall, like this ripple out effect, and this that ultimately causes this like raising of the vibration of the planet. That is why that goal is so fucking important to me. That's why it's meaningful to me. Okay, so next up is we have A, so as if now. So remember, we kind of talked about this already, reiterating it because this cannot be said enough, but you have to act as if now, right? So if you want something, the unconscious mind creates distance between you and that goal. So for you to hit the goal, you have to see yourself as if you have it now. So see yourself speaking on the stage, see yourself buying that house, see yourself looking at your, PayPal account and there's the $111,000, for example, okay? And then you want to aim for the moon. So just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it's not achievable. So you really want to aim higher and do the things that haven't been done before. So the example used here is I can't remember his name, but there was a period of time where no one had ever achieved running a 4-minute mile. And then this guy came along and he hit the 4-minute mile. Well, once he did, then all kinds of other people started hitting the 4-minute mile. But before that, they like literally thought your heart would explode, or, you know, these different stories that they had around it. But he decided that that's what he was going to do. And he achieved it because he believed, regardless of whether he had seen anyone do it before. So want to aim for the moon. You do want your goal to be achievable. NLP says the goal should be achievable, but it's also important to strive for more and aim for the moon, even if only to land for the stars. So I'll be really honest, like my $500,000 goal was not originally my goal. So when I actually myself went through this workshop at my certification training in Boston last year, and she told us to write down like our biggest, scariest goal. Mine was half of what it is now. And then she was like, okay, now double it. And I was like, whoa, wait, what the fuck? But I did it. You know what? As soon as you told me that, I was like, I got excited. I had never been so excited about a financial goal in my life. And honestly, I'm so unattached to hitting it, but I also really believe that it's fucking possible. So for those of you who have financial goals, I encourage you right now to double it. To, even if you just bumped it up a quarter, right? What would that look like? And I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's scary. You might be like, holy shit, I was already kind of stretching myself. But I'll tell you what's happened since I've done that is when I declared that I am making $500,000 this year, everything that has had to go in my life is going. And the person that I have to step into and become in order to be the woman who makes $11,000 is, what's the word? Like it's alchemizing. It is manifesting. Like it is becoming so. And it's been like one of the most powerful experiences I've ever done. So, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is for the dreamers and the achievers and the visionaries and those that are here to impact the world. Like you just can't play small anymore. It's time. Okay. I'll leave that one up in case you guys want to look at that. So next we're going to move to our resources. So what internal resources do you have available to you to achieve this goal? Right? So are you a good writer? Are you smart? You're intelligent? Like maybe you have trainings already. Maybe you have like certifications or college degrees. What are the internal that you already have available to achieve this goal, right? Maybe you've already done some therapy or some coaching. And who is someone who already has the thing that you desire? What resources did they have to get there? What resources did the version of you who already has the thing have to get there? You know, tenacity, patience, grit. You know, those are fucking resources. You know, drive, determination. Those are resources. So what resources do you already have? And if you're not sure what you need to get there, then start connecting with people who already have what you want and ask them these questions. Like, it's okay. Like, you can literally be like, tell me how you did this. who were you being? What were you doing? And don't just go straight for the doing, but like, who were you being? Like, what were the beliefs that you thought? This is so, so important, especially when your subconscious mind and even your conscious mind, you may not know anyone personally in your life, or you have never experienced this. So this is going to help you also like see that there are paths, and these people who've already done what you want to do become portals of possibility for you. Okay, so reasons to achieve. Why are you doing this? For what purpose? What is the motivation or desire behind it? And is it responsibly ecological? So that means, is it safe for yourself? The goal, is your goal safe for yourself? Is it safe for others? Is it safe for the world? I feel like that's not even an issue with any of us here on this call, but that is definitely part of, it's an NLP concept that, because you can, be shifting things around the subconscious mind and releasing things and kind of manipulating thoughts, if you will, then you want to make sure that you're in integrity with it. Okay. Are we going at an okay pace? Are you guys like writing this stuff down? NLP, Missy, neuro-linguistic programming. It's all about the language of the mind and how the mind sees pictures based on the words that we use. It's one of the techniques that I recently learned in my certification program that I'm taking. And you can do really cool things like anchor in like certain feelings into like a part of your body so that you can have access to those feelings at any time. Or you can change beliefs. You can like literally with a technique in the course of 15 minutes or so. Or you can get rid of bad habits and just different things like that. And you do it with these techniques that use like pictures and invoking feelings and different things like that, that accesses the subconscious mind to make deep changes very quickly. Okay. So T is for timed. Put a date on it. Not just put a ring on it, put a date on it. Don't just say just a month from now, but like be specific. What specific date is this happening by? Right? So my date is December 2020. Now this next part is like super, super important. You want your goals to be toward what you want. Remember how we talked about earlier, like not using like the negative words and statements in our goals and what we're creating. So this is kind of speaks to this from a different perspective. So you don't want your goal to be away from what you don't want. Right? So you don't want to be like, I want to lose weight because I'm too fat. You want to move towards being healthy and fit. So diets don't work, for example, simply because of the reason why people go on the diet. They don't want to be overweight, which is moving away from being overweight, versus wanting to be healthy, moving towards health. So away motivation does not produce consistent motivation, because as soon as you get far enough away from the thing that you don't want, you don't like, your motivation drops. And then you start to slide back towards the thing you don't want. once you reach the threshold of the thing you don't want, the motivation shoots back up, you move away, and then the cycle repeats itself and you end up yo-yoing. Who can relate to that? It's like the worst fucking cycle and pattern ever, right? You just feel like you're so trapped. You're like, fuck, but like we just had it figured out, and then like, fuck, why did this happen? Right? I've been working on breaking so many of those patterns. So really focus on what you do want, right? And it's fine to sometimes be like, oh, you're moving from a place of like, I don't want this anymore. I'm so sick of this. Okay, cool. So, but what do you want instead, right? That part is so important. It's so, so important. Keep moving towards what you want. Okay. So now we're gonna, I'll leave this up for a second. We're gonna move on to the E. This is where you embody the energy of your quantum co-creatrix. So you are going to step into the version of you who already has the outcome you desire and think like they would think, feel like they would feel, and take the actions they would take. This is where the exercise that we did earlier, where if I already knew I had blank, who would I be, what would I do, and how would I feel? Okay, this is that embodiment, and this is a daily practice, daily practice, daily practice, daily practice. So I want everyone here today to post in the Unfiltered Soul that they've done their daily practice, their embodiment practice. Okay. And you can tell me every single day. You can literally use the group as accountability, because I seriously want nothing more than for you to embody this at such a deep level. It's seriously life fucking changing. Okay. Step is evaluate. So you want to create check-ins to see progress, make mile markers, key performance indicators, quantifiable metrics in your that you're tracking to check in how close or far you are from the outcome. So here's what I did for my goals this year is I set my goal and I said, so mine is a monetary goal, right? But so I said, where do I need to be? If my goal is $511,000 by December 31st, where do I need to be in 9 months from now, right? So like, what does my monthly income need to be? And then, and like, what programs do I need to be having offered, or how many clients do I need to be working with, right? For example. Then where do I need to be, and like, even like what marketing efforts need to be taking place? Then you back it up and you say, okay, cool. Where do I need to be in 6 months from now? Or 3 months from now? And where do I need to be in 1 month from now? And where do I need to be in 1 week? And what are my daily actions going to be? What are the things that when I do them daily, they are going to help me get to that place, right? And you really have to step into your next level self to do this. And this is where things like your embodiment practice, your self-love practice, your health and fitness routines. It could even just be like, okay, I know that if I daily connect with one person, day, or if I clear limiting beliefs with emotional freedom technique, 3 times a week, for example. I know that if I do that, I'm going to make progress. So, okay, so then there's also a recode method. So this is where, like, if you're getting stuck along the way and you're hitting roadblocks, you want to utilize this recode method. We're not going to have time to go through what that all means today, but I will tell you, it is basically where you have a specific, like you're experiencing like a specific thing, and you look at like what's the facts of that are. Like maybe the fact of that is, you know, you only have $10 in your bank account, for example. And that is, you are choosing you are making that mean something about you, right? That maybe you're a failure, that you'll never be successful, and, you know, that your life is just going to be hard. So you might like have that perception. And when you go through the recode process, you have to ask yourself, what's going to happen if I continue to choose and believe that perception? And usually the answer is things are going to stay the same. And what's going to happen if things stay the same, right? I might go bankrupt. I might get overly stressed and start having health issues. I might end up getting a divorce from my partner. You know, I might end up in depression and not be able to function for my kids, etc. Right? So you kind of take yourself down the road, and then you're like, okay, and let's go back and look at the same fact. There's $10 in your bank account. What would you like to believe that means about you and what's possible for you? And you're just like, that this is just a season and I can figure this out. And I am actually really resourceful and capable of getting past my blocks and becoming the income earner that I want. Right? So, and then you're like, okay, cool. And if you keep believing that and choosing that perception, what do you think is going to happen? You're like, well, I'm going to fucking hit my goals and I am going to do better and I will have more money. I will be the abundant person that I desire to be. Okay, cool. And why is that important? You know, what will that do for you? What will that make possible? Oh, well, then I can like serve the world, and I can, you know, if I'm abundant, then I can help others and I can provide a better life for my children, and so that they will, you know, have a stronger foundation to start from when, you know, they start earning money, et cetera, and on, right? So, but do you see how the difference is? So that's called the recode process. It's really fucking powerful, because usually the way that we're feeling is almost always based on a perception. Like we're assigning a meaning to something. And if we're making it, we can either do it in a positive way or a negative way. Okay, so last part, R, recognize and review. So when you've hit your goal or desired outcome, take time to recognize yourself for what you've done and celebrate. And this is for every single step along the way. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Okay, I cannot say this enough. Like, we'll just be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, boom, did that thing. All right, what's next? You know, and we don't really choose to honor and celebrate the journey and the process. And that can really like put us in this grind hustle more, because it's not enough, it's never good enough kind of place, where if we can just pause and just revel in, wow, I did that. Like you guys, right before I got on this call, I just got the chills, I might cry. It's like not, I mean, I've sold sessions like this before, but I just sold one of my quantum transformation sessions right before we got on this call. It's $555. And it still is just a big deal. I've sold several of them, and I am just like, and this person is also planning on upgrading into being a one-on-one client within the next 2 weeks. That's probably what I already know that part's done, because we've been talking for like a couple of months about working with me. So it's just really exciting. But I was like, I had to like kind of be like, I saw the PayPal payment come through and I had to be like, thank you. Thank you. And then like, I even had to like say it out loud to my husband, like, babe, I just got another new client. Like, it's a big deal, you know, because even though I've had clients, you know, plenty of clients, it's like, you still want to celebrate it every time because it's still a big deal every time. And like, you know, this person is trusting me with, you know, their progress and their business and their life, and, you know, to help them move forward. And that's really an honor. And like just a couple of years ago, like I would have never been able to charge $555 for a 90-minute session. And a couple of years ago, like I didn't even know that I wanted to be a coach, you know? So it's a deal. So I do celebrate every person, and I actually have like a little practice that I do where I send like all of my clients and I send all of my Facebook group members love every day, and I send, you know, anyone who is out in the world who is ready to like live their unfiltered soul life, and I send love to them and I invite them into my community. And that keeps you in gratitude and in seeing yourself as a success, like you are saying. Yes, it really does. It really does. Okay, I don't think that there's anything else down here. Okay. All right. So next up, how are you guys doing? Keeps out of the overwhelm and failure mindset. Yes, it really does, Missy. And like when we can just celebrate the little bitty tiny things, like, woohoo, I fucking made dinner today. Like, woohoo, I kept everyone alive today, you know, or like, yeah, or like, because like that's legit in the life of a mother, right? Like, or even it's like, I only yelled one time today. Like, I did good, you know, or like, I scrubbed the crayon off the wall, you know, like, it's just those little things, but we really have to celebrate all the things that we do, because all of us, every single person, like we're all doing so much all the time. And it's so easy to just, you know, gloss over those things and to not honor all that we are doing. Okay, so I want to give you guys one more quick, I don't know if it's quick. You guys can actually work through this if you want. I'm going to share it with you. It's called the 1-3-5 goal setting. And so it goes along with what we just talked about, but it helps you break your goals down into smaller digestible chunks, which I find so helpful. So a lot of us can see this like overall big picture, but then we don't know how to really map out the steps that will actually take us there, right? So we're going to break it down, and we've kind of went from the wider perspective, and we're going to kind of bring it in a little bit. So for example, I'll just keep using my example. My goal is, let's see, now I'm going to use Constance's example. So if the goal is $111,000 for the year, so then that's your one primary objective, your one desired outcome. And then you're going to take 3 strategies that you're going to use to get there. And then each of those, and again, I'm going to email you guys out a little workbook with this information in it. But then you're going to take that one, let me see, I feel like, hold on, I might have a, give me one second. I think I have something like this already made up in my Google Docs, and I can give you a visual. Hold on one second. I'm pretty sure I do. But you're gonna do, hold on, I know I have it. I feel like I have it in a table. That one's not it. I don't know what I have it titled as. Just don't know where I'll find it. Okay. Well, we won't worry about that right now. So you're basically going to have, so you're going to have 3 strategies, and then underneath each of your strategies, you're going to have 5 action items. So see, there's where you get the 1, 3, 5. So for example, $111,000 is the primary potent priority, the desired outcome. And then you're going to take 3 strategies. So maybe like one strategy is selling out her one-on-one sessions, for example. And then she would have 5 action items that she's going to take to get to doing that. So it might be like she'll do maybe a promotion in January where she's really pushing it out, and she'll do like a workshop with that, or some kind of master class or something. Maybe she'll offer like a bonus, and maybe she's getting on some podcasts or doing some speaker opportunities in other people's paid programs or groups, and she'll maybe do free trainings there. Excuse me, moving energy. I always belch whenever I do these kinds of things. Like I get air because it's just like energy moves through you. It's really interesting. So the other thing would be she could create like a sales funnel with like a freebie that she does, and it can lead to people hopping on a sales call. She could literally just invite people to do like 30-minute, like 10 clarity calls with her. She could do she could just start let's see what else. She can have like a daily ritual that's all about like being a magnet to her ideal clients and getting her energy and her mindset right? So whatever those 5 things can end up being, right? So you can break it down. It's actually, you can usually find more than 5 actions that you can take towards any one particular strategy. So maybe another way that she would plan to hit her income goal would to be like an affiliate for someone. And then she could look into connecting with those particular affiliates and planning out those particular launches. Then what would be like a third strategy? Third strategy could be like starting a membership or something like that, right? And all of the actions that would take to fill the membership. So like you can kind of do the same thing, even if it's like not a monetary goal. You can still break it down, and you can be like, oh, well, once a week, like for example, you're like the self-love. So, it could be like once a week I go on a date by myself, or I take a daily walk, by myself, and I tell myself how much I love myself. Or it could be like the, daily self-love journaling practice. These different kinds of things, right, that you can do. You can surround yourself with people who see you for like the gift that you are, right? So like you could commit to growing a new community. You could join a program. You could read so many books on self-love, right? Like there's so many different things that you could do as strategies to achieving more self-love. Okay. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite things. I love that breakdown of the goals. And let's see. Did I? And you can do the 1-3-5 plan for each goal that you have. So today we just kind of focused on one goal, but if you have multiple goals, you can break it down that way for each goal. And then we kind of talked about earlier about how we want to have it mapped out on our calendar where we need to be to hit our goals. So then you take all your tasks items and your strategies and everything, and then you look at your calendar and you put all of this into your calendar. This can take some time, but it is super, super, super helpful when you can get like a bird's eye view of what's like how it would all look over the course of the year. And then you can be so much more intentional about your days and your weeks, and time does not fly by so quickly because you are being intentional and you're not overscheduling yourself with things that aren't moving you forward towards what you actually want. Right? Because it's really easy just to be like, doing a bunch of busy work stuff and saying like, oh yeah, it's fine, I guess I'll go do that or whatever, but you're not being intentional and you're not like really moving yourself forward towards what you're trying to create. So does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? Hi, Amira. I saw you pop on. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you want me to cover? Do you guys have any questions related to goal setting and the mindset of goal setting and achieving our goals? The workshop piece is pretty much over right now, but I will tell you that I do have a special invitation for you guys. So today I'm actually like super, super pumped. I am opening the cart for my Unfiltered Soul retreat. So excited. I know, this is my first retreat. It's going to be in beautiful, gorgeous San Diego, California. And it's really for those who are ready for explosive growth. Like, that this is the year you get to have it all. Like, you are willing and ready to discover the depths of who you truly are. And you are just ready to come home to your truest self. You're no longer available for the status quo bullshit. You're done settling for a life where you do not feel how you want to feel. You don't have what you want to have, and you're not serving in a way that you know you're meant to fucking serve on this planet. And you want to have everything that you want, and you want it on your terms. That is what this retreat is about. You know that you can keep going along with the way things are and like not rock the boat, but you know that there's a cost and that a little piece of your soul dies every fucking day that you are allowing yourself to settle. And that's not what the fuck you're here for. So if you're ready to heal and you're ready to show the fuck up and you're ready to do the work and to release anything that is no longer serving you, and you are ready to see yourself and step into your full brilliance and know your infinite fucking worth, like, this is the retreat experience for you. So here is what I have crafted. You guys, I have been sitting on this for months and it's been so scary, but I just had to like pull the trigger and like rip the fucking Band-Aid off and be like, people need this and I know they're ready to do this. So I'm just doing it. I don't even have the sales page finished yet, but that's okay. So this is really going to be a sacred experience. It's going to be 4 days and 3 nights. It's going to be in a luxury Airbnb home where we will have a private chef. We will have a daily yoga instructor. I will be leading daily guided meditations. You're going to step in and just literally feel like you're dripping of wealth and wholeness and overflow and love and gratitude and joy. And you're going to be able to embody like your next level co-creatrix 24/7 for these 4 days. And this is going to like seal it in for you that you know what is possible and done for you, so that even when you leave, you are going to be her. You're going to be the person that you become during this retreat. We are also going to have some group calls leading up to it so that we can get to know each other, so that everyone feels safe and connected before we even get there. So I want to really develop the bond and the sisterhood before we get to San Diego. And then there's going to also be a couple of calls post-retreat so that anybody who's having things come up or whatever, we can work through those afterwards. And so you'll have some support for a few months after the retreat as well, which is so powerful. Because after the retreat was when like all the shit goes down, you're like, whoa, like that was an amazing, powerful experience. And now I'm having all these feelings and experiences and I need support. So I want to be able to support you in that. So inside this sacred experience, we're going to uncover your deepest desires. You're going to recode your identity. You will each create an identity script for yourself. And as any resistance or limiting beliefs show up, we're going to do a lot of one-on-one coaching within the group setting. So you'll be doing that work with me. We will utilize any of the techniques that feel applicable. So it might be the recode method, or it could be, we might use NLP, or we might do some EFT tapping, and there will be things that we'll do together as a group. So this is going to be, we're going to be releasing a lot and shifting a lot. Okay. You're going to also have the opportunity to map out, like your new life, right? Like complete with habits, identity, self-care, pleasure, and more. And yeah, it's like a no stone left unturned experience. There is going to be some excursions that we're going to be taking. I'm not going to divulge all of the details of this because I want there to be a little bit of mystery involved, but trust me, they're going to be powerful and fucking epic. And we are going to have a photographer on site who is going to be giving each and every single attendee their own mini unfiltered soul photo shoot so that you can capture the essence of who you really are and this next level version of you that you've embodied during this retreat, and you will have it captured on film by a professional who is fucking amazing at what she does, by the way. She's going to be traveling from Pittsburgh to be with us for the week. So this retreat is really for leaders, visionaries, change makers, anyone who knows they are here for more. They are here to do powerful work in the world, and who are ready to heal and bring their true gifts forward now. And they are ready to make massive quantum leaps in their well-being, relationships, and finances. you are ready to receive the abundance and prosperity that is available to them now, and who is ready to live a life of more ease, flow, and grace. And we're going to do this built on the pillars of purpose, pleasure, power, and prosperity. And I'm going to be bringing in some of my shaman work, and we're going to do a beautiful opening despacho ceremony as well as a closing despacho ceremony. If you have never experienced one, you are in for a fucking treat. Just the opening despacho ceremony in and of itself is transformational. This isn't for those who don't want transformation, who do not want to do the work, and who are not willing to take self-responsibility, and who are not deeply committed. So I will say that the investment for this experience is $3,000 per person, and there is a 6-month payment plan with this. And that number is, I can't remember what I said for that. Hold on, I have it here. Let me look it up. That's $550 per month for 6 months. So it's a really spacious payment plan option. And I would love to have anyone who feels called to join us for this experience. And I will be sharing the retreat information more in detail. So basically, by doing the paid in full option for $3,000, you save 10%. And you can also, I do have one other option for this, and that is the retreat can be combined with the mastermind. So you can get 6 months of my Unfiltered Soul Mastermind and the retreat for $1,250 a month, or you can pay in full for both for $6,800. So that's a 10% savings when you save in full. And it's about $1,000 off of the retreat. So it's a really, really good price to bundle them together. It's a huge savings. So that is what I have available. Anybody who is interested can message me and or post in the comments, and I can get them more details, and we can chat about any questions that they have, and I can get you the link for this. And like I said, I don't have the sales page fully ready yet, but I can get, oh, when is it? Good question. Yes, it is. It's the first week of August. Hold on, I think it's let me look really quick at the calendar. So that I don't misspeak. August. Yep, it's going to be August 6th through the 9th. Yes. So August 6th through the 9th. All right. So that's it. I'm super excited. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this. We still have a few minutes left if anybody has any questions or just wants any coaching. And if not, we can just go ahead and close it out. All right. Well, this was so fun. I loved talking with you guys. And I feel like I want to do more of these. This was actually pretty cool. As we were talking in the beginning, I was like, ooh, I got some new ideas. All right. Well, I love you guys. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy your week. And I would love to hear how as you start to fill in any of the extra components of this, how that all looks, and keep an eye on your email, and I will send you guys out the replay with the workbook. Talk soon.